totally the same setup and I haven't moved around my office and shot myself in the foot. And the lighting is 100% the same and it's fine. Apple Watch Ultra 3-year review. Number 1, still alive. Woo! Who would have thought it? There's no scratches on the screen, maybe a few more dings on the titanium, but nothing drastic. I do have the same issue with the lack of strap availability, or I don't want to pay 100 quid for a new strap. But once I've conquered the sewing machine, I have all the components that I could actually make a new one. And I do need to do that. I need to conquer this because it's just irritating. It's something that's a wearable. I want options. I need color matching. I need just cleanliness that I don't have to think about. Sleep tracking has got a lot better. I do set my sleep window from like 9 to 9 just in case, but it has caught naps I've had in the afternoon as well, so it's gotten better on whether it thinks you're asleep or not. I don't like the sleep scores though, because you can have 5 hours of sleep and it goes, oh, you got a good night's sleep. It's like, oh, no, I didn't. It's like, oh, but you went to sleep earlier than normal and maybe you had fewer interruptions. Great, but I still didn't get enough sleep, so I shouldn't have a good sleep score. The reverse is true as well. So you've had, I don't know, 8 hours and then you've had it in fragments and it's just like, oh, you had a really bad night's sleep. So well, yeah, it wasn't amazing, but at least I got 8 hours. It's all in the weightings. I just don't think the metrics have been prioritized correctly. My battery health is at 84%. I think when it gets to 80, it counts as degraded. When I looked at a scale of what a 3-year-old Apple Watch Ultra should be, below 85% is kind of a little bit low. So it's 85 and up is good. But you know what? It lasts a couple of days still. I haven't noticed any difference on the battery life really of the watch, but I haven't been using it as much. My phone is at 78% and counts as severely degraded. It lasts me all day, and if I go out and need extra battery, I just take a power bank with me. Apple's never been amazing with the battery, so that's not new. I think I've mentioned this before, but the timer keeps going even when the watch is dead. So for example, I still use my Invisalign retainer timer because I just haven't got out of the habit, but it will show the correct time even when my watch has died midway through the day. That was kind of the positive side. We're onto the middling / negative side. I have noticed that in the most recent updates, the clock jumps around a little bit. So you look at your wrist and it shows, oh, 10 o'clock. And then a second later, it shows, actually, no, it's 10:30. I don't like that. It didn't used to do that, I'm pretty sure. So it feels a little bit jumpy, but I think that's software rather than the actual watch itself. But it's something to be aware of. If you've got similar wearable technology and haven't had that, I'd be interested to know because I'm pretty sure that mine correlates with an update. Something I've been increasingly thinking about is awareness around screen time for kids. Because this is a wearable, you're putting it on your body, you're showing that this is important to me. I pause when I read notifications, which is a really bad habit, but I'm also setting myself up to do that. Me clocking out for that couple of seconds to read whatever it is, be it actually something important or a spam email, means that I'm saying to everybody around me, not just kids, that this is more important than them. I know you can set it up to not do that, but that kind of defeats the point of the watch. I wanted this for accessibility, scrolling, checking my emails, that sort of thing. Maybe that's something that I need to think about within myself because I'm not sure that's the message I want to be passing on to everybody else. It's also very fiddleable. I can just imagine teeny tiny fingers poking at it, playing with the ringy thing because there's that haptic feedback. It's fun. It's fun for an adult. It will be fun for a kid, especially if you're trying to limit their screen time elsewhere. Having a screen accessible on your parent's arm, you play around with it. I mean, I always used to play on my mum's phone back in the day, even when it wasn't anything exciting. If you don't have it otherwise, then you'll play with it. And if you have it otherwise, then that's a whole new kettle of fish. Also a reminder that if you've got something important on there, like a timer, they can press it, they can stop it. So maybe don't have anything important on there, but equally because you're putting it on your wrist, you want to be able to access the important things. So it's a bit of a catch-22. I think. Is it catch-22? I'm not sure. You know what I mean. This is a great time to segue into iPhone shortcuts because you can't have an Apple Watch Ultra without an iPhone. I know I said at the beginning that I couldn't really think of use cases for them. I've actually set up a couple of phone shortcuts for contractions because I wasn't prepared to pay for the contraction timer. All I've done to set mine up is basically just go send a WhatsApp to this created message group for a start and an end, and then that's automatically got the times on it. I just didn't want to have to pay for an app because it feels really grey area. I know app developers need to make money, but I just imagine having a woman who couldn't afford to pay for that extra versus a woman who could, and it just feels really uncomfortable being added at during labour. It feels very intrusive, so I just set up a shortcut. Now that won't work for everybody. That was my workaround. I didn't want to just chuck money at it because it made me uncomfortable, and yeah, you have to do it manually, but just have a quick scroll through. I don't think it's too bad. I could be wrong. It's all about where your own limits are. This watch was about $800 US new, and yes, I got it on an open box discount, but hypothetically, if I'd paid in the US for this watch, I would be spending about 66p a day on this after 3 years. That's with an exchange rate of 1.1, which I think was roughly the exchange rate at the time. I probably overall paid about $1,000 for my laptop, $1,000 for my phone, and $1,000 for my watch. That feels like quite a lot of money. I don't think I get the same use out of my watch as I do my phone and my laptop. Yes, it's convenient. Yes, it records my heart rate. Yes, it does a lot, and it's different to the other two, whereas a phone's kind of just like a portable laptop. But I think what I'm saying is it's not all or nothing. It is all or possibly something slightly cheaper that has the same functions or pretty much the same functions. I checked a list of used Apple Watch Ultra features. So what is a good Apple Watch Ultra after 3 years? Battery being above 85%. Now my battery is at 84%, so we haven't hit that. But this isn't exactly 3 years after I bought it, so even though 84 is a little bit low, it's all right. No major dents. Ding! Or not, as it were. The buttons feel crisp, I think, so I haven't noticed any gumminess. The screen is clean. Apparently there's an oleophobic coating on the screen for water resistance. I haven't noticed either way, but in order to clean off excess water, I do the old Nintendo blow. That doesn't clear out the system, by the way, it just gets off the screen if you need to press it. How am I feeling after 3 years? Well, like in the 2.5 year video, I still feel irritated about the fact that they just keep churning out these Apple Watch Ultras. And I know I should have expected it, but I do. I have been avoiding all the features that are on the new watches because it's like, ooh, you know, it doesn't feel like something that is premium. So I've just been ignoring it. Also, I don't think it's drastically different. It does feel expensive to me for how much I use it. £1 a day. Okay, it's not bad. It's like 66p a day, but that feels like quite a lot compared to everything else. Having said that, this watch is not on its last legs. I'm expecting it to last at least a couple more years, so we will see. And that was your 3-year update on the Apple Watch Ultra Series 1. Let me know how yours is faring in the comments below. Have a lovely week. See you next time. Bye!